What are the top 5 trends video creators must know in 2023? We'll talk about it right now, only on 100 TV. Let's do a show.
It's time for the StreamLeader Report. Discover the hottest trends in digital media. Here's your host, Ross Brand.
Thank you, Jody. Welcome to launch day on 100 TV. I'm Ross Brand from Livestream Universe, and we've got a great show for you as we kick off the launch of StreamLeader Report right here on 100 TV. We'll be talking about the top 5 trends for video creators in 2023. Not sure we're going to get through all 5 today, but we're going to get started. Number 1's got a little bit to do with what we're doing with 100 TV, and number 2 has a special new feature coming up to talk about with YouTube. So a lot going on. Let's get right into it. We're going to start with collaboration. And this gets into why we created 100 TV. Let's look at how the system works for content creators, for solo creators, for independent creators. We can pretty much use those terms interchangeably, as most content creators either work alone or with a very small team. And so how does this thing set up? Well, each content creator has their own channel. And on their channel, they do their best to push out perhaps one long-form video, one live stream, maybe a couple of shorts per week. And that's on a really good week. So what happens is you have about 100 different creators, let's just say, on 100 different channels, each pushing out a small volume of content. Well, this is great for the platform because the platform, in this case YouTube, gets a ton of free content, but the creator, him or herself, doesn't really monetize to the extent that they could, because it's a very low volume of content. It's a big volume for YouTube, but on each channel it's a small volume, and so YouTube wins, the creator not so much. And so the way to overcome this, or the way we're flipping the script at 100 TV, is we're gathering a bunch of creators into a collaborative network, and that network, starting out, we're going to have more things in the future, including a podcast network. We'll get into that more in a bit. But in the beginning, we're starting out on YouTube, and so we're gathering all these creators into one single channel. Now we have a channel where, instead of the audience subscribing to dozens, hundreds of different channels to watch their favorite independent creators, they have a single destination where they can come to watch independent creators. That channel, in addition to being a convenience for the viewers, that channel can organize itself so there's no overlap. There's not 10 of us going live at the same time, or everybody dropping their episode at 5 in the morning on a Tuesday, or whenever it might be, and having to keep track of all of those notifications if you actually want to stay on top of what's going on in the creator community. Instead, we arrange a lineup, and we come to you streaming that in live linear fashion starting on Monday. We're going to build it out. Every month we're going to add another day. So in June we will launch Tuesday's shows in July. We'll launch Wednesday's shows and so forth until we have 7 days a week of live linear programming. So you can show up at the destination for your favorite show, the destination being our YouTube channel, or you can come by when you know that we are live, and you can enjoy show after show by some of the best independent creators around. Then from Tuesday through Sunday, we're going to have uploads. We're going to upload episodes, single episodes, a few times a day. And what it all comes down to is, on a single channel, you have programming, you have new content every single day, feeding the algorithm, providing a single destination for viewers to go, and also making life easier on vendors who want to reach independent creators and their audiences, which is in part made up of other independent creators and a part made up of people who enjoy viewing live streams and on-demand videos from independent creators. There will be both the live linear delivery and the ability to watch each show on demand. Every show will have its own playlist, and we'll probably have playlists organized by topics as well. So this is where the power of collaboration comes in. It's the ability to create a volume of content that triggers the algorithm, that leads to monetization, all much faster, with much more earning potential, and a much better service to the viewer and to potential sponsors. So that's a part of it. I mean, being a solo creator is hard. It's really hard. And sometimes it almost seems like it's near impossible to be successful as a solo creator. But it can work when you collaborate. Let's talk a little bit more about what this collaboration looks like, okay? We talked about the value of having everybody on a single channel. We talked about that being a value to viewers, having a single destination to go. It also gives vendors a single entity to work with. Instead of having to sign 100 contracts with 100 different creators on their own channel, they now have a single entity that they can do a deal with and get the potential exposure on a whole set of shows and benefit from the combined reach of all of these creators and much more. And what we're saying here is 100 is the goal. That's why we named it 100. Our goal is to get 100 independent creators working collaboratively as part of one network. And we're starting, about 15, 17, I think. And, some of whom are already preparing to launch their shows in June. And, we get to 100. I want to keep going until we have, a new show every hour of the day, 24/7, 365 days a week or close to it. The other benefit of network is cross-promotion. All the creators in the network now have a built-in group of colleagues with a vested interest in promoting their content. And that brings us to the fourth reason. Why do they have a vested interest in promoting the content of their fellow creators on the network? Well, this network is a creative partnership in which all the hosts and a few people in some other creative roles share equally in the revenue. We all stand to gain from the success of the network, and that means we all stand to gain as each other develops great content, gets viewership, reaches out to advertisers within their network. It's all about growing viewers and attracting sponsors, and the collective is able to do something greater than the sum of the individual parts when this all works. And that's why number 5 is elevate everyone. As people bring their skill sets to 100 TV, we can take an agency approach. One person might be great at optimizing YouTube titles and descriptions. Okay, that person sets the standard that every show will follow. Another person could be outstanding at doing promos and teases and little production segments. Okay, that person will be in charge of video editing the promotions, and so on and so forth. You get the best of everything in the network. No solo creator, myself included, is good at every aspect of this, or even really good at most aspects of it. Usually we have one or two areas where our talent really shines. Now, the network gets the best of those areas of each person and brings it together in a way that everybody gets the best, because, again, solo creators can't afford to hire big teams. They don't have the budget. They're going to hire a little bit of assistance, but now they get the same advantages of a much larger network or big media organization, which is the best of everything. People have different roles, and those roles elevate the collective and each individual. All right, so now I hear the objections coming, right? Well, this is a cute idea, Ross. You're putting a little network together, and, what are you going to do with that, right? I mean, how is your network going to challenge CBS or NBC? We aren't. That's not the goal or the purpose of this. That's not even possible. 15, 20, 100, 150 creators, even the most talented group of independent creators together aren't going to defeat the behemoths that are CBS or NBC. And we aren't trying to. What we want to do is give the solo creator the best chance themselves and together at success. The best chance of making a good living by providing an extra stream of income that could become significant to leverage the combined reach, influence, and skill sets to create a whole that's greater, again, than the sum of its parts. Radio and TV have their areas of unique strength. There's no doubt that radio and TV are really good at certain things, really good. Not only do these huge teams that work on television shows have the best of everything, they also are on networks and channels that have had audiences for not quite a century, but many decades. They have so much name recognition. There's so much viewer behavior in going to those channels that there's no way an independent network can compete with that. And again, that isn't the purpose. I mean, think about their sets, their studios. Having a unique studio for every show that they want to do. The ability to get footage from all over the world, ingest that footage, next to real time, and have somebody type that up into a script, drop it into a teleprompter, and they're live with breaking news moments after it happens. We're not trying to do that. We're not trying to compete with those visual images. What we're looking at are the strengths of live streaming that may not be strengths of traditional broadcasting and cable television. What can live streaming and online video offer audiences that television and radio can't. Access, engagement, behind the scenes. At 100 TV, we live streamed all of our pre-launch production meetings. There were live production meetings and live business meetings. We live streamed all of them. Total transparency. You could look in and see exactly how we were building this network, the policies, the procedures, the discussions, the debates, the disagreements, all out in the open. Now, we didn't really promote it much. This was a soft launch, you could call it. But the idea was to document this. And as this moves forward and it works, there'll be a blueprint through those videos that people can look back on and say, how did they do this? And what can we take from it that will help us also put together some type of collaborative endeavor that works to elevate solo creators from a position where they're struggling and the economy now is getting bad and all these other things are weighing in on top of it, to a position in which they can leverage their combined influence, their combined talents, and their combined audiences to really make an impact that's greater than they could alone. What you'll see going forward with 100 TV's programming, you're going to see that which online video and live streaming is best at. You're going to see behind the scenes of how business really works, how creatives plan and strategize. But there'll also be diverse topics. You'll see behind the scenes of travel. You'll get insights on some of the best books. Many of them are created by solopreneurs and solo creators like the ones who are part of 100 TV. We have a show about wine. TV creates an illusion. There's so much that goes on behind the scene that's scripted, that's planned, that's, that really, there's just that illusion of those few moments when the camera is rolling, the set is together, and it's all focused on what is between the lens. So TV creates an illusion. We're going to get personal and take you behind the scenes and show you stuff that's raw and real. That doesn't mean it's unpolished or it's unprofessional. It just means there is no curtain in the type of shows that we're putting on. Rebecca Gunther's show follows this one and kicks off with the first of 12 episodes featuring Rebecca working with a client to rebrand her business.
Janine is craving something that will have fruitful returns. She's seen what she can do in leadership roles and public service. She's seen what she can do nurturing a marriage and family. She knows her worth and her value, which she consistently brings to her communities. Her voice has impact, and that is clear. She has seen her own victory gardens, both literally and metaphorically, bring forth abundance year after year. She feels free, open, and optimistic. It is her time. Time for reinvention, time for revolution. And this time, she gets to create the life that she wants, rather than react to the life that she already has. Join me and Janine as we embark on a grand brand venture.
That show is called Business in the Raw, and you're really seeing the process of rebranding, of positioning, of, revitalizing an approach, all happening on video week after week through 12 episodes. It's a phenomenal series. You have to stay tuned after this one to watch that. Just one more example is at 2 p.m. Eastern today. You'll get a look at the difference between being a solo YouTuber and managing multiple channels for a big corporation. Nicole Sanchez does both of those things, and she's going to let you in on what she's learned along the way. The show's called What You Need to Know with Nicole. So now you know not only why collaboration is crucial for solo creators, but the benefits of forming a network and what 100 TV has to offer. I'm super excited to be a part of it, as I've said over and over again, and I really, really mean it. But the success of 100 TV is in no way guaranteed. Let's put aside all the outside challenges, all the outside factors. Let's put aside the economy. Let's put aside the algorithm. Let's put aside whether or not, and it's kind of a roll of the dice, the content that we do hits home with viewers and gives us a chance to build an audience. And let's look at the things that are in our control that could keep this venture from becoming successful. And that is, will I, as a solo creator, put my whole mind, heart, energy, and time into doing the best that I can for this network? Will I buy in and believe in it enough to do the things I need to do to make this work? Will I support other creators? Will I be a team player? Will I promote other hosts and their shows and whatever else the network has going on? Or am I just here to find another platform for promoting my name and my products and my services and dropping an affiliate link from time to time, and really just here to exploit this network for whatever I can get out of it while doing the least that I can and not really believing that this is going to be something that I will gain from if I lift others? And that's the question. And in fact, that is another sort of behind the curtain, behind the scenes reality aspect of all of this, because you, the viewer, will be watching and you're going to be judging about what the creators are doing. Are they buying in? Are they really part of a network? Are they bringing unique content, exclusive content, new content, original content? Are they giving their best to the network? What are they doing to promote other creators? You can see this happening over the next several weeks and months and year, and you'll be able to kind of get a sense, is this working? Are the majority of people bought in and contributing? And that's where you kind of get a sense of, have we done everything we need to do to test this model out and see if it can be successful? There are factors that work against any type of video that's put online and any type of creative process. But are we doing everything we need to do within ourselves to make this a success? Are we operating with the long game in mind? And that's why we called our shows, our live production and business meetings leading up to this, we called it, quote unquote, egos aside. Because the question is the solo creator in this simply for ego gratification, or is the solo creator in this in order to create great content and really make money as being part of a business? And so can the solo creators, who are part of 100 TV, can we put our egos aside enough in order to do what's best for the network, which will ultimately give us the best chance to do what's best for our business and our incomes? So that's going to be interesting. And that's why collaboration is one of the top 5 video trends you do have to know about in 2023, because the space is changing fast and it's really going to be hard going forward to do this on your own. I don't know if there's anything quite like 100 TV that's been formed that's this type of creative partnership. And I'm really thrilled to be a part of it. Let's move on to number 2. Not sure if we're going to get to all 5 today, but let's roll into number 2 on our list of the top 5 trends in video creation for 2023. And number 2 is podcasting on YouTube. YouTube traditionally has been the video platform where people upload videos, and there's obviously a huge audience on YouTube. But podcasting had its own ecosystem. For those who might not be familiar with the RSS feed and media hosting, basically what happened traditionally when somebody launched a podcast, they would pick a podcast host, and they would take an MP3 file that contains the audio of their podcast, and you also had some hosts that would host actually video podcasts that would be distributed through an RSS feed. But in this case, let's just think about the audio side of it. You have an MP3. It's a file that contains the audio podcast. And you upload that file to a media host. And then that media host creates an RSS feed for you. And what the RSS feed does, it's called Real Simple Syndication, is it allows all the podcasting apps out in the wild to, when someone clicks in those apps to request to download your audio, to download your episode, or to listen to your episode, the RSS feed refers back to the host. So it's pulling the audio from the host rather than, say, the podcasting app copying it onto its own platform. So that's what the RSS feed does. It syndicates out that media file that contains your podcast episode to all the different places where it's in a podcast app called Podcatcher, Podcast Directory, when you embed it on your website, and so forth. So that's the way podcasting has been working for, I'd say, close to 20 years. Now, Spotify has changed the game somewhat. And Spotify made hosting video podcasting without going through an RSS feed possible. But for all the attention Spotify's gotten, for all the impact that it has made, signing celebrity podcasters, buying networks, and so forth, Spotify isn't YouTube. YouTube has, I think, 2.5 billion active users. It's the second biggest search engine on the planet after Google. It's owned by Google. So, YouTube videos often do very well in the Google algorithm as well for search. And it has a very good way of recommending people's videos, YouTube. So we've gotten through 2 of the 5 top trends for video creators. We've got a lot more to do. We will continue this next week. So far, we've discussed collaboration and, of course, in our specific case of 100 TV, forming a network. And we've also talked about podcasting on YouTube. We've got 3 more to go. We'll get through them next week. Thank you so much for being a part of this launch of 100 TV, as well as the launch of the StreamLeader Report. It's great to have you with us, and we will see you again next week on another episode of 100 TV. Now stay tuned for Business in the Raw with Rebecca Gunter. Take care, everybody.